Hello, I'm Daniel Lance Wright. Annie's World 2, New Beginnings. I hope you checked for it, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and it's available now. I sure hope you enjoy it, and I want to read an excerpt from it right now. "Don't move, Pumpkin," Annie Henderson whispered sideways to the youngster. "Remember what I taught you." 6-year-old Eva quailed, whimpered, and held tight to the older girl's waist. Annie was more like her sister than simply a friend. The young girl looked at Annie, face tightening as if about to burst into fear-riddled sobs. "I can't help it. It's so big and mean-looking." "Shh." Annie stroked Eva's hair while allowing her bow to slide from her shoulder into her hand. Slowly, she sank to one knee onto a soft clump of emerging spring grass while repositioning the quiver of arrows at her back. In a slow, fluid move, she reached for and felt the gnarled red mesquite wood handle of the knife sheathed on her hip, just in case. The knife had been made by her boyfriend, Ethan Turlock. Its presence was his presence, a small measure of comfort. With equal stealth, Annie took Eva's hand into hers and pulled the child down to match her non-threatening posture. "Always remember," she said, "never stare directly into the eyes of a predator animal. They'll sense it as a challenge. If they're hungry, the problem doubles." Eva pulled her eyes away and dropped her head. "Okay," her voice quivered. Annie turned her head slowly to face Eva. She smiled. "You trust me, don't you, Pumpkin?" "Uh-huh." Eva's voice remained strained and shaky. Still smiling, Annie shifted her attention back to the rocky precipice a few paces up the trail. Vines and roots hung like unruly witches' hair up the trail a short distance. It was about 8 feet above the surface where they knelt. Perched atop it, a large black male wolf snarled, hackles raised, drool stringing from between its teeth. Annie frowned quizzically. There was something different about the animal. "I don't think that big fellow's hungry." Eva loosed her grip on Annie. "Why?" "Shh. Keep your voice low and even. He doesn't appear hungry because he's not tensed and ready to pounce on us. And it seems the big guy doesn't really know if it wants to be threatening or not." She pointed it out to Eva. "You see? It stopped snarling for a second. Did you see it?" The younger girl glanced quickly, then turned her eyes down again. "Then why doesn't it just go away?" Her small, nervous hand stroked the newly emerged grass beside her knee. "I'm not sure. Maybe he's guarding a mate in a den of pups somewhere up the hill behind him. Wolves do mate for life, you know. They're one of the few animals that do, and it is spring after all. There's a lot of newly born animals this time of year." "Oh." Eva released her grip on Annie entirely, but kept her arms tucked against her body. Suddenly, the wolf, standing 4 feet high at the shoulders, took an aggressive pose. This time, the animal tensed, ready for action. It snarled. Drool slung from bared teeth as it jerked its head to the side abruptly. "Annie!" Eva screamed. Annie snatched up her bow. As the wolf turned a quick circle where it stood, Annie knocked an arrow. The wolf crouched, then leaped from its rocky perch, soaring over their heads. Without drawing the arrow, Annie kept the point aimed at the giant wolf as it flew over them and landed some distance beyond. She instantly realized they were not the target. A pack of 4 gray wolves had eased to within attack distance while they were distracted. The huge black wolf landed between the girls and the newcomers. The gray ones intent on challenging the black wolf for possession of Annie and Eva as a meal. The black one began pacing side to side, growling, snarling, and partially lunging to keep the other canine at bay. "Shoot him, Annie!" shouted Eva. "Not yet." "Why?" "I think he's protecting us." She kept the arrow nocked and ready to draw, but relaxed the weapon down to her side and watched. The black wolf grew impatient with the angry growls of the interlopers. He made a move toward the largest of the grays, also a male. The smaller but determined gray held its ground and challenged the black. The larger black wolf accepted and sprang at the gray, latching razor-sharp teeth onto the scruff of the gray's neck. The gray wolf attempted to wrench loose, shaking its head side to side, but the black wolf was too large and powerful. After only seconds of a loud, violent, and wallowing battle in the grass, the gray yelped in pain. He wanted no more. The black wolf released its hold. Once free of the black's teeth, the gray male scampered away with its tail tucked between its legs, running after its pack that was already retreating. Annie again sank to her knees and then sat back on her heels. "Well," as Dame Fortune would say, "ooh-wee, ain't that a shocking diddling turn of events?" She chuckled. Annie's World 2, New Beginnings. It's available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and through Sagewords Publishing Company. I sure hope you check it out, and please subscribe to the site. Thank you.